Okay, I am back. I had to charge my phone, it died on me. So, that was the reading for Soulgasm. This is my Bible reading, and it is Genesis 22. Abraham is tested. I'm not going to actually read the whole thing, but I am going to kind of give you a vague outline. So this is a part of the Bible where Abraham is told by God to sacrifice his son Isaac, and for me, this story was just this explanation on how much faith and trust and unconditional surrender that you have to have towards the divine is amazing. And it just kind of stuck with me. Like here on chapter 22 verse where is it? Verse 6. It says, Abraham took the wood for the burnt offering and placed it on his son Isaac, and he himself carried the fire and the knife. As the two of them went on together, Isaac spoke up and said to his father Abraham, "Father." "Yes, my son," Abraham replied. "The fire and the wood are here," Isaac said, "but where is the lamb for the burnt offering?" Can you imagine taking your child into the wilderness to sacrifice them and them asking you where the sacrifice is, and you knowing in your heart that they're supposed to be the sacrifice? Can you imagine having to surrender your child? I mean, can you imagine the faith and the trust and the obedience that you have to do that, and to know that regardless, everything's going to turn out okay? And he answered, "God himself will provide the lamb for the burnt offering, my son." And the two of them went on. And the next point, they reached the place, and he tied them down, and he was about to sacrifice them. And then an angel came down and said, "Don't lay a hand on him. Do not do anything to him. Now that I know that you fear God, because you have not withheld your son, you have not withheld from me your son, your only son." So it wasn't just his son, it was his only son, like his only son. And Abraham still didn't deny the divine what he asked for. It just brought up a lot of questions. So my first question was, did the Lord test him to see if he would be willing to trust him completely? Is it possible that in life, the things that we get so afraid about and so fearful about, oh, my lights are going to get turned off, or my children are doing horrible things, or whatever we're afraid of in life, is it possible that those fears are just to test us? Just to see if we have enough faith, enough resolve, enough trust, unconditional trust in the divine, that we know regardless of what is being thrown at us, we got this. What are we worried about? Why do we worry? Why do we worry and stress and get scared and fear the things that ain't gonna make or break us? It ain't gonna make or break you. I mean, honestly, think about What you're fearing right now, what you're worried about right now, is it really going to make or break you? Let's just say you can't pay a bill. Okay, you can't pay the bill. Is your life over? Are you going to stop breathing the minute that bill becomes overdue? Like, let's just say it's your light bill. The minute your lights get cut off, are you going to stop breathing? I don't think so. The minute your husband, wife, or boyfriend, girlfriend leave you, is your life over? No. Your children don't listen to you, don't mind you, or go in their own direction. That's what they're supposed to do. That's what they're supposed to do. They're supposed to live life. They're supposed to make mistakes. They're supposed to do those things. Your job is to be there and help guide them and pick them up. You can't make them do anything. You can't make them do what you want them to do. You just have to be there and say, okay, if this is what you choose to do, I'm telling you how it's going to turn out, but I got you. I'm behind you. That's what you're supposed to do. You know, the stuff we worry about is what's killing us as human beings. Worrying and stressing and letting that fear and that ego into our subconscious and into our mind is what's killing us. Let it go. Let it go and let God. That's my motto. Let go and let God. If you come across a problem that you cannot handle, let go and let God, because obviously that isn't in your realm of understanding. It's not in your realm of understanding. That's for the divine to do and for you to sit there and look pretty. Hello? Can I get an amen? Okay. Moving on. The second question I have, well, actually it wasn't a question. It was like more of a statement. What strength and faith that it must have taken to know that you had to sacrifice your son and still push ahead? I mean, I couldn't imagine. I don't have a son, I have a daughter, but I couldn't imagine leading my daughter to be slaughtered and her asking me, where is the sacrificial lamb, knowing in my heart of hearts that she's the sacrificial lamb, and still being able to say, okay, I've got to do this. I can't imagine having that kind of faith and that kind of trust and that kind of, I'm sorry, I'm getting all teary-eyed thinking about it. That kind of, I don't know. I don't know how I would handle that. That would hurt because I know that I would have to sacrifice my child. But on the same note, I would have to have enough faith and enough trust and enough understanding to know that it was all God's will. It was all the divine's will, and there's a reason for it all. But it would be hard to see that reason through what I was about to do. And I think that's where we get mixed up, that's where we kind of mess up as humans. It's hard for us to see that reasoning through our fear. We can't reason through fear. And I think that's where we need to push. You have to reason through fear. Stop being so afraid, and stop being so afraid that you have limits, because you don't. You do not have limits. You are capable of conquering any and everything you can put your imagination to. Not your mind, your imagination. Because you're so much more than what society and life has boxed you into. You just don't remember it. You don't remember how magical and how powerful and how strong you actually are as a divine presence because of where you're placed. You're so worried about society and what society says is important and what society says is the issue and the thing to focus on, that you forget to focus on you, your spirituality, your growth, your understanding of yourself and your divine power. You've forgotten how to do that. And I think that's where we all need to get back to. Okay, going off a little subject, but that's okay. And the last thing that kind of stuck with me is, don't withhold anything from the divine. Don't withhold anything that you feel that you need to give or release, because 9 times out of 10, if you have that gut feeling that it's time to release something, it's time to get rid of something, it's time to give it to the divine and let the divine have it, your intuition is never wrong. There's a reason you have intuition. There's a reason you have intuition. There's a reason you have that gut feeling. There's a reason for that. You know, everyone's like, oh, you need to follow commandments and you need to follow the Bible word for word. Scratch all that. Everything that you need to advance vibrationally and consciously is already given to you by birth. No one has to tell you that it's wrong to kill. No one has to tell you it's wrong to do certain things. No one has to tell you that something doesn't feel right. Use what God gave you. It's not always about what you read or what you're told or what you get from other people. Use this. Use your heart and your mind, because those two things will never lead you wrong. Because in the end, that's what matters. That's what matters. It doesn't matter what people tell you. It doesn't matter what you read. It doesn't matter what you've been taught in school. It doesn't matter what you've been taught by society. It doesn't matter what you've been taught by your parents. It doesn't matter. What matters in the end is the fact that everything you do, everything you say, everything that is contained in your life revolves around you. So follow your intuition, follow your heart. If something doesn't feel right, if something feels like it needs to be let it go, because 9 times out of 10 there's a reason for it, and it might just be a blessing in disguise. So bottom line to all this is trust the divine. Trust the divine, because it's not going to lead you wrong. Your intuition is not going to lead you wrong. It's not going to lead you where you don't need to be. If you don't feel something is right, don't do it. If you feel in the pit of your stomach that you just have to do this and you just have to see this through, then do it. Follow your own internal guide, because that's the compass that the divine gave you. That's the way I feel about it. Okay, so that was the reading for today out of my Bible. Let's see. I wanted to show you all. I did make some more herbs for my house. I don't have a container to put them in, so I'm keeping them in my mortar and pestle until I can actually get a container. It smells so good though. They really do. And I also made more oil for my house. Yesterday I went through my house with every incense and herb and candle I could find and oil, and I cleaned my house. I cleansed my house of all negativity, all anger. I had my crystals out. Y'all, I was doing it, okay? I was working the magic for all it's worth, and I feel so good. So good. Oh, my daughter's up. Okay, y'all. Well, I'm going to cut this short. Just know that I'm sending love and happiness and joy to you all. And I will see you all in the next video. It's okay. Yes. So just know that I love you all, and I'm sending love, peace, and joy to you all. And I will see you in the next video. Until then, blessed be, and remember, you're powerful. There's no reason to fear anything. Love you all.